Welcome to the Northern Knits podcast. We are two friends in fiber who knit, craft, crochet, talk everything in between, and laugh at me when my cat snorts when I make a comment. It's episode 394. Fader doesn't believe it's time to do things on the internet, and it's early Saturday morning for us for recording this time around because I was very pretty and forgot yesterday was Friday.
Good job. Yeah, I don't know. Last week was just everybody had a weird energy last week. Everybody was like tired and like, how is it not already Friday? And then Friday rolled around and it's like, how is it not already Saturday? And yeah, it was this week just had a
Just,
weird energy. Like everybody I talked to.
it's just a week. It's just,
Yeah, I feel that.
and you know what? Those weeks happen. It's totally fine. For anybody who caught the live with Louise on Thursday, I washed the yarn.
Oh, good.
Because, of course, my cat ate dinner, ran around, had the zoomies, shook herself up really good and lay down, and then promptly proceeded to throw up on that yarn because she's a toddler and doesn't understand she's not supposed to do that. Whatever. It's washed and dried now. Some
Good.
days, people, some days. Cat ownership is not always fun.
No.
All right, let's do some admin stuff and then let's talk projects. Heads up, last
Okay.
warning. We love you all to bits. We have been discussing this for a while now. And I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say it, and I sure am tired of hearing myself say it. Don't forget, Patreon charges are changing as of the 1st of November. The tiers are also changing to reflect this. If you have confusion as to what the new tiers are going to be going forward, please
Yeah.
check out Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, if you follow us for free, or if you're in the tier, there is a post there for you to go over what all the new posts are going to be. Everything will flip for the 1st of November. We'll have a $5 tier, a $7 tier, and then I think two more above that, one more above that. Jocelyn doesn't remember.
Oh,
And I wrote
I
the
think there's,
post.
yeah, I know. I think there's two. I think there's two.
Yeah, we went four. So we made the reflections and changes in conjunction with Apple, making some particularly, well, let's be honest, male member moves. They were being a male member, you know. They're doing a thing. And to reflect the fact that as I progress on this absolutely undelightful journey of losing my vision, we need to divvy up how I do my work because I can only do so much a day. So we made some changes so we could move forward with some things. So thanks to everybody who responded to the polls earlier, who responded in comments, and quite frankly, my incessant bugging for e-knits for the last little bit. I appreciate all of you who responded because I know I've been driving you all bonkers. Oh,
We appreciate
that's the
the
boring.
input.
Oh, I loved that we got input and I know it's because you always think, okay, I'll just do that in like a second and then it never happens. Like I'm just as bad as everybody else is. So I appreciate everyone's patience with me while I constantly nagged everyone for opinions. And we're done. I don't need to talk about it anymore. Do not need to hear me
Thank you
say
for
this
rendering
again.
opinions.
Oh my God, it's such a thing. All right. The librarian knit along ends at the end of December. So if you're working on a bookish themed or librarian themed sweater cardigan project, don't forget to have that all wrapped up for December because we needed to give that a end date. And we did.
Are we
It's a
gonna
thing.
get it done? Who knows?
Oh my God. The Stephen West
Our own
MKAL.
year-long knit-along? Will we finish it?
I mean, odds are not looking good. They are ever not in my favor. I'm blaming the Stephen West MKAL, which I'm thoroughly enjoying, but has absolutely derailed all of the scheduling for me. The other thing we've got going on right now is the fall equinox craft along, make along. We should change that to make along
Yeah.
because it's pretty open with what you do with it. So if you're working on stuff for that, don't forget that the idea is that you're done your item, garment, scarf, shawl, baked Christmas cake, whatever it was you decided to make for the fall equinox celebration. It could be a Christmas cake because you have to let that age in a cool space for like months, right? So it could be a
Good
Christmas
point.
cake. Could be. That'll wrap up for the winter solstice. We don't do a seasonal make along from the winter solstice to the spring equinox, just because most people tend to be very busy at the tail end of a year with either inventory or with family stuff or with, hating winter and needing to hibernate. Lots of things are going on at that time of the year.
Oh, and also
Otherwise,
our podcast anniversary starts on January the 1st.
it does start on January the 1st, and somehow I'm already doing two cast-ons on the 1st of January. Of
How? Only
course
got
I am.
one.
Of course I am. So everybody knows that I hang out with Louise, Wildflower Wool, Fiber Friends. She wants to do, and Diana, get prepared. Forget a pair of sock needles. Needles.
Okay,
I'm awake, I swear.
I believe you.
November the 1st, we're gonna cast on Christmas socks.
Ooh, okay.
And I have sock yarn that is Christmas named and Christmas colored for Christmas socks that I've never bothered to cast on. So I'm like, there's the perfect excuse to do that. So the 1st of November, I'm
Well,
casting on Christmas socks. And I think Diana should
hmm.
join me and Louise for this.
Dinah needs
Hmm
to free up some sock needles.
hmm 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 So where I'm gleefully participating in that. How I'm doing that around making Christmas tree ornaments for a Halloween Christmas tree and getting my Advent out on time, we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is that I'm going to cast on a pair of socks on the 1st of November. However, this whole story sort of wraps around Louise because Louise has decided and is enjoying the crocheting that she's doing, so she would like to do the Granny Square Challenge next year.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm like, I've already done the 365-day Granny Square Challenge. You remember, you and I did it from Yarn Utopia, like the first year we started podcasting.
I do remember. I still have that bag of granny squares somewhere.
Mhm. I was like, so I won't do Yarn Utopia squares because I taught myself to crochet by doing the 365-day challenge, but I am going to crochet for probably 20 minutes every day on a Granny Square project for the whole year. So I'm going to use that as a chance to make the Granny Square cardigans I've been looking at, to finish up some Granny Square blankets I've started, maybe even do some Granny Squares for things like seaming together for donations for charity and stuff. So like I'm going to do 20 minutes worth of work because I worked out. I did a Granny Square in about 20 minutes a day the last time I did this. So I figure
Okay.
about give 20 minutes to Granny Square work every day is equivalent to me. So I feel like I'm doing that starting the 1st of January.
Okay.
Hey, listen, that would work if you wanted to make a memories blanket, like a cozy memories blanket. Say you wanted to work on your 10 stitch blanket. You did that for 20 minutes
Mm.
every day. Like that would count.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this plan. I like this plan
Yeah.
very much.
It's Louise, right? So like it's got a lot of flexibility built into it. So if you wanted to be a knitter and work on a larger project, maybe you wanted to do the temperature blanket. And you could just never bothered
Ooh.
to figure out how to get that into your bothered. You never worked out how to get that into your schedule, right? So maybe this is the year you do it. Who knows? I'm going to do it to get through some crochet projects. I'm also going to do it to help cheerlead and keep Louise on track because she wants to do this and she's very excited about it. So we're going to do what we can. But that also means I'm casting on the podcast anniversary the same day. January the 1st, two cast off.
Do it up. Why not?
Do it up. I want to repeat the medieval Festivus seasonal challenge I did for myself last year. So I have a new challenge this year I'm working on for
Oh,
like
yes.
for the traditional 12 days of Christmas, which means it's a
Yes,
Christmas
you
Day
did a
cast
cardigan
on.
in 12 days or
I
something.
sure made the Tribeca trench coat in 13 days from start to finish. So I'm like, I feel like I should try for another thing to see how well I do, right? So I'm prepping that stuff in the background. So much is upcoming, you guys. You have no idea. Pay attention to the schedule. If you heard me talk about Patreon enough, if you follow us for free, you will get the program schedule every month over on Patreon. It's posted, goes up on the 1st. It tells you what's going on for the month, and December is going to be crazy pants. December's gonna be crazy pants. All right, I think that's it
Lots going on.
for admin stuff. I think that's all I've got. Oh God, I hope that's all I've got. Holy
I hope so.
schnickerdoodles.
I'm glad you do this section. I'm just so lost.
You don't have to keep track of everything?
No, no, I don't.
No? Okay, cool. How many projects do you have this week?
I have three.
Excellent. Well, while I enjoy some, oh, wait for it, chai tea, you go first.
Let me go first. Oh
Oh
no.
my God, you
Okay.
guys, chai tea. So good. Mm.
Okay, well, I have just finished the thing I've just finished the next step of the thing from the thumbnail, and I actually have to read the pattern, so I don't think I can do that while we record anyway. The lovely bit
Okay.
of I-cord from the thumbnail has now been picked up,
Okay.
and this is the beginning of my Shockwaves wrap.
Oh, that's your fall equinox.
Actually, technically, the fall equinox is the single malt sweater that I still haven't wound the yarn for.
That's
This was just
right.
the kind of the why not both. And this one grabbed me more, so I have
I
done. I really
actually
wanted
have
to play with my
Total.
I-cord tool. I wanted to play with my this thing.
Internet, what's my fall equinox project? I don't remember. I
I
casted
don't
like
remember
7
either.
things that week. I don't remember which one it is. Oh
I don't know. We'll have to go
my
check
God.
the episode
I
because
actually have to look.
we got people to vote live for that. We
Uh-huh.
have polls. I can check the
Uh-huh.
poll results. I don't know.
I don't remember. My brain might be a touch full. Okay, you have
Anyway,
an
so I
I-cord
still haven't
edge.
wound the
This
yarn
is
for the
good.
thing I was actually supposed to cast on, but this is an additional thing.
I like the Shockwave shawl. I'm probably thinking that's what it is because that's probably what I voted for. And in my
A
mind,
lot of
that's the
people
only thing
did,
that
so
matters.
it's gonna be a lot of warm colors,
Oh,
reds and oranges and yellows.
and you like that
And I
tool?
got to play with my I-cord tool, which was so great. I made all of this I-cord in like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna need to get that. I'm gonna need to get one of
It's
those.
it's a snazzy tool. It's just is there's very this one is a 3D printed cat paw with some latch hooks in the end, but the point is that it's a handle of some sort with 3 latch hooks in the end.
Hmm. Well, I'm fine paying for somebody else to have done the work to create the tool.
Oh yeah.
Like that does not offend me. I also like I was watching wool hand needles. Why can I not
Can't
get
help you.
that YouTube channel correct ever? She is the one who does the Ravelry roulette.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was talking about wraps per inch. She found a nifty little tool that lets you measure and do wraps per inch at the same time so you can figure out how many wraps per inch you have for yarn that you're using. And I'm like, I love a tool. I love a tool. I need that tool. Because then you can just wrap your yarn around it. And between the notches is an inch, and then you count how many wraps you have, and that tells you what weight of yarn you're working in,
Mm. Smart.
which is so needed if you're substituting. So needed if you're
Yeah.
substituting. Yeah, so I'm just like, I want that tool.
So
Like a
I
small
have picked up
child.
all of my stitches along the edge, and I need to somehow pick up 3 stitches from my weird little loopy end, and then I can actually start. And that next step requires actually reading the pattern, which I'm not going to do while we're recording. But hey, I picked it up. There we go. It's mostly started. It's
Well, we
mostly
take
actually
breaks.
started.
We take breaks while we record. You could do it then.
It's true. I do need to get the pattern established and stuff, so
Mm,
that's going to be put aside for a moment.
totally fair. Let's talk about
Yeah.
spider webs. Because then I can talk about spider webs, and then I can talk about more spider webs, and then I can talk about more spider webs. And for fun, we'll talk about some spider webs.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, that's what I've been doing this week. So I needed
All
the
spider
occasional
webs all
break.
day.
Oh, I needed the occasional break from the Stephen West MKAL, which I love. It is a slog. I do love it. It is a slog. I am still behind. Spoiler alert. The first clue dropped
Who
on a
isn't?
Thursday. I started it the following Tuesday. Guys, like if I finish this a week late, we're doing great.
If you finish it at all, you're doing great.
We're doing great. So I'm fine. I'm quite happy with my progress. I love my colors and stuff. And oh my God, I got story free. But I started that Fae Vest, that SpiderWeb vest, and I started with
Mm.
my back panel, like my
Ooh,
my big
okay.
my big. So I had to make a big spiderweb circle, and I need to block this to make sure it's big enough. So I was I was gonna do that this morning, and I was like, wait a minute, record first, and then go block your project.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go get this wet, and then I have to pin it out so it's flat, and make sure that it is big enough to hit where it needs to on my body. Then I can move on to the next step. So I made one giant spider web. It's
Nice.
not
Is that
overly
just like
complicated, guys.
chains and trebles or something?
Chains and double crochets, that's all this is.
Chains and double crochets.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all a spider web is. So super cool. However, I need to stretch this out. The spiderweb vest is like a mandala vest. So you've got the big spiderweb panel at the back, and then it's got some mesh in the front.
Okay.
Yeah, so I need to see if my back section's big enough before I obviously secure to make my armhole spaces and stuff, my armhole chains and stuff. So I'm still working on that, which is fine. I really want to throw this at the cat, but I feel like that's a mistake.
Given the yarn drying in your background,
She never does it on like an easy to clean surface. Stupid cat. So I started the poncho because it's really going to look like a shawl when it's finished. It's not going to be big enough to be like a, it's not going to be like a drapey poncho. It's going to be like a up here poncho shawl situation.
okay.
So I made my big center one. This pattern's free, so I could talk more about this one. So she has you make a bunch of the little squares, and then she has little spider webs, and then she has you make one big spider web, so that you've got the one big spider web square in the corner, and then you've got a grid of 4 little ones and a grid of 8 little ones, which makes that L shape you do to make ponchos, right?
Okay.
Guys, don't worry. There's a link in the show notes. You can follow it, and it's
I
explained a
believe
lot
you.
better in the blog post. So I'm at the same stage. So I've made my big one that it calls for. I have to make the spider, but because the spider web's black, I think I'm going to make my spider gray.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
Otherwise,
a
it'll just
black
get lost.
spider on a black thing. Like it's not a thing. But don't worry, I've made one little spider web, 2 little spider webs, 3 little spider webs, 4 little spider webs. Can you tell what I did while I was editing this week? 5 little spider webs, 6 little spider webs. Here's 7. Here's 8. So like all of this for one side.
Wow, you're just motoring on this.
I don't have a lot of time to make Halloween stuff. These ones, this one, like I can hold it out like this so you can see what it looks like when it's blocked out. The bigger ones are going to do the same thing. There's just, they're too wide for me to do this. They're too big. So I need to block a lot of spider web today. And then I'd have my other, I'm done. Like I've created all of my spider webs. Hang on, wait. I don't want to do damage to the West MKAL. It's so much work. It's so much work. There we go. And then I have my other 4. So I have made all of the spider webs for the vests, for the poncho. So I need to wash and block an obscene number of spider webs. These are so cute. I think I might make a couple for the Christmas tree, but make them in like white or something, right? So they
Ooh,
stand
white
out in the
sparkly
Christmas
yarn.
tree. I don't actually have any white sparkly yarn, but it is Christmas yarn season. So I feel like I can go get some white sparkly yarn.
Absolutely. And then you could put a little spider with a Santa hat.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Like it's going too far, but I'm gonna do it because I want my Christmas tree to look like the holiday threw up all over it. So I classy I am not. So I gotta block these. But like how cute would that be? So
That'd be very
cute.
cute.
So cute. So I'm very excited and I'm very happy to get going on this. And then I gotta make a spider. The joy is that I did all of those spider webs and I'm still on my first ball of black burnout premium.
Perfect.
And I have a whole second skein still to go. So I should be able to get both of my projects done on 2 skeins of yarn at
Nice.
$5 and change a piece. So I am very happy with the budget for this. This worked out really good for me. But that's the majority of what I've been doing. It's just spider webs. Just tons and tons and tons of spider webs. Technically that's 2 projects, but it's all spider webs.
Spider webs for days.
Spider webs for days. I know what I could have been doing. I have to rip a thing while we're doing this. Okay. It's fine. Fine. It's fine.
Totally fine. Completely fine.
Totally fine. Mm.
Suppose I should talk about a thing.
Oh, I got the spicy chai from Stash. So good. So
I
good.
made my standard cappuccino. I didn't even put anything fun in it today.
What? But isn't that the fun part
I
is putting
finished
fun
my
stuff in?
pumpkin spice whiskey, so I
I
don't have
I
fun
don't feel
alcohol to
bad
put.
about that.
That one's main purpose was to put in drinks. It was not a drink on its own, kind of a whiskey.
No.
Okay. I'm sure we're tired of hearing about it, but I kept working on my Tolsta tank. I did a couple of rows, so I'm gonna breeze through this real quickly.
Okay.
It's the Tolsta tank. It's black and pink stripes. The black
Hmm.
is onyx from Ginger Snap. Ginger Snap yarns. The pink is Grown Up Living Barbie Doll from Fireweed Fiber Co. We have a code for 10% off your yarn order from Fireweed Fiber Co. It's in the not the comments, the description box or the show notes. It's in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. It is in the show notes if you're
I
listening
swear, guys,
on
she
wherever
told
you
me
listen
she
to podcasts.
slept. She told me she slept well.
I thought I did. Anyway, it's stripes. I have started I'm not even on the shaping side. The stitch markers represent the bust shaping. So that's happening slowly. I'm what, like two increases in? Yeah, I'm like two increases into it. So not very far. So that's gonna take a hot minute. But it lives
That's
here on my
fine.
desk and it's my meeting knitting when I'm not working on my sock.
That works.
There we go. I went through it real fast because we're tired of hearing about it and maybe I'll actually work on it one day and oh no, the sun moved and I'm glowing. Ugh.
Editing Jocelyn, put in a cut. Dinah's got to fiddle with her lighting.
Ah.
Due to the magic of technology being a pain in the butt. Look, it's a different day.
Hey.
Uh, some days. It's fine. It's what we know happens because tech. So I'm glad Saturday, Friday us, we're having a great time of it. Saturday us? No, Saturday us. We're having a great time of it. It's now
Yep.
Monday. Let's cover the last two things and do a Patreon thing so we can do an episode. Uh, I hit the record
Ah.
button? Yes, I did. Because that would just be the
That's
kicker,
good,
hey?
wouldn't it?
Oh my
Just.
God.
Who's going first?
Well, I've got one thing left. You've got one thing left of Patreon, so I should probably go first.
All right.
Pay tells a different day. I have a different cup, and I have a different beverage.
I mean, my lighting's different, my sweater's different, everything's different. It's a different
Everything is
day.
different.
It's a
Different
different
day.
day.
Let's talk about the Stephen West MKAL. Now, I'm still behind, which duh. It's a Stephen West MKAL and I started really late. Of course I'm behind. It would be kind of weird if I wasn't behind, really, when you stop
I
to
think
think
that's
about
just
it.
how those go.
Oh yeah, even if I start on time, I'm behind by the end of it. But here's a huge chunk of clue one. I've literally got one row. I got one row left, and I'm in clue two. It's a lot of knitting. Oh my God, it's cute though. Like, look at those stripes. Because you've got garter stripes and you've got semicircle stripes. Nothing hard. I did skip the bubble stitch piece, but that's just because technically speaking, it would be a risk for me to try to pick up a stitch 8 rows down in fingering weight yarn, considering
That
I can't
does
see.
sound challenging.
So I just did a plain stockinette section and I'm a garter bump edge to finish it, rather than doing the bubble stitch. Not that I don't think it would look cute. Like I was looking at other photos. The stitch looks adorable. I just worry that I would drop something. And I don't
That would be very
technically have
upsetting.
time to put this down to wait till like Erin's free to come help pick it up, right? Because like I can't pick up fingering weight stitches anymore. So that's
Mm.
fine. It still looks cute and it still fits in the stripe theme of the shawl so far. So go Dynamo. Clue 4 drops on Thursday. I'm moving into clue 2. It's great. If I'm spoiling things at this point, guys, I don't know how to help you. It's so warm. The heat's on in the building, but daytime highs are 20, and we're not always getting into single digits at night. Never mind near 0. Our overnight lows are
Goodness.
like 7.
That's
Freaking
toasty.
hot. It's so warm in this apartment, but it's the end of October. We should be into zeros overnight.
You'd think.
Nope.
Goodness.
Highs of 20, lows of 7, 5. It's too dang warm. I've got 2 Air and Fireweed Fiber Co. yarn balls. I have my Pinot Noir in the tweed fingering, and then this This is not the color I thought it was. This is what happens when I am allowed to cast on a shawl at 6:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning when I travel. This is her discontinued sparkle base in the color 29,
Mm.
which if everyone remembers, I was making a Tolsta tank out of the other ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to rip the Tolsta tank out to get that yarn bank back because it is a discontinued yarn base. So cool that that happened to me.
Good
Scrunchy
job.
face of distaste. It looks good because it's purples and reds and sparkle and tweed. So like you still get that beautiful contrast and stuff going on. I'm just kind of annoyed at myself that I did that. So
Fair.
cool. Thanks. Great. Go me. So excited. Not excited. Oh, though in good news, the mysterious Mr. B purchased tickets for C4, so I'm going to the Central Canadian Comic Con on Sunday.
Hey,
Yeah. Now I have to get him out of bed and downtown by 9:30 on a Saturday morning. Sunday morning, we'll see how that goes. We
good
don't live in
luck.
the same house because we're not dating. We're friends, so this could be a problem for me.
Good luck.
My love, you are up.
All right. I'm going to talk about a sock. Hey,
It's kind of
I
hard to
guess
get
I'm farther along.
enthusiastic. You need to be on sock two.
I know that would be much more exciting, but hey, look, this incredibly bright, blown out sock. It's a vanilla sock, but the yarn is Supernova from
See,
Sea
Panda.
Panda Yarns. Sorry, my mouth was going to go on autopilot with Fireweed Fiber Code. No, not this one. No. Sea Panda Yarns. She's closing up shop, so if you want some of this, you got to get it before October the 26th.
Is it the 26th or the 24th? I meant to check.
I'm reasonably certain it's the 26th.
I hope it's the 26th.
Anyway, if you want some gorgeous supernova yarn to make your own crazy bright things, you're running out of time. Get on that.
You are.
So I'm almost done. I'm more done the cuff than I was when we recorded this initially.
That's fine.
Um, but I generally make my cuff about as long as my toe, so I still got a
You got
few
a little
rows
bit
to go
left to go.
still.
That's not
Yeah,
too bad though.
no, not bad at all. Like a half, three quarters of an inch, something like that.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Could be worse indeed. Maybe that's yeah, couple of centimeters. Take your pick.
And you're
Not that
finished.
long is the point.
Okay.
Almost
I'm
done.
very excited for you to be done those socks because the 1st of November we're gonna cast on some socks, right?
Well, my sock might be the second one of these socks, so we'll see. Although I think I do have free sock needles, so I could just cast on more socks anyway.
Yeah, you don't have a ton of socks on the go right now, do you?
No, just these ones.
Okay. You could cast on a new pair of socks.
I could cast on a new pair of socks. I'm 99% sure I do have additional sock needles.
I know I do. I was looking the other day. I absolutely have free sock needles. So I'm good. Oh, you guys. All right. That just leaves a unscripted Patreon ad, and then we're good.
For the second time. Okay, let's do it.
Listen, I have no control over the technology gremlins.
No, I know. Does that even happen? Anyway, okay. If you would like to financially support these shenanigans, you can do so at patreon.com/northernitspodcast. Any level of support gets you access to our patron-only Discord server where we talk about all manner of things at all manner of times and enable each other into starting socks and spider webs and sweaters and
Stephen
there's got to
West
be more S
MKALs.
words. Stephen West MKALs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time. You should join us. If you're looking for restraint, that is not the place. If you
No,
want to be enabled and justified into casting on all of the things, this is a very good place.
it is a very good place. As always, we super understand budgets. Oh my God, they're a real life thing. If you can financially support us, liking videos, commenting down below, and interacting with us on other social media platforms is a great way to stay in touch and show us what you're working on. Good news is that's it. We need to cut it short because I need to get this edited and out to you, and I need to be streaming in a couple of hours on my own Twitch stream. So I'm going to say
Enjoy.
until next week. I'm Jocelyn,
And I'm Diana.
and no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to
Don't
knit.
forget to knit.